Hello everyone, it's Derek's Damn Toys, and we are back with another action figure review, and today, well, we've got the Walmart exclusive Supreme Collection Jon Moxley, and I am pretty excited to have this in hand. I recall seeing the promo shots for this, and I was like, damn, this Moxley does look pretty damn good. I hope they don't display him in there with the jacket on. And well, they did that anyway, so hopefully the figure is not stained. I've seen other videos, it seems like they all got theirs pretty well in hand. I will also mention this as well. I do find it kind of funny. I was just on Walmart kind of gathering up a little bit of stuff I may have needed for the week, like grocery wise and stuff of that nature, and I saw this just chilling on Walmart's website. Of course I clicked on it because they never display the figure, and I noticed how I could have it delivered today to my house with my grocery items. So I said, F it, if I have to, I'll try to. And well, I got it here in hand, delivered, and I am super excited to get into this. So why don't we break Moxley out of his plastic prison now, shall we? Alrighty, you guys, now that we've got the Supreme Jon Moxley out of the packaging, we've got so many accessories that we've got to go over, and well, what a better way to start off than with all of the hands. As you can see, I did unplug them from the figure there. So we've got all of the hands. First things first, we've got this open hand with the R there. We've got the 513 or 315 if you read it upside down. You've got the other open hand that has the N on it, for Renee. Then you also have the barbed wire ring that does not wrap around the whole finger there, which is a little devastating. You get the pointer finger here that's got the R and the 513 on it. The other unique hand, we've got another one of these which has the N on it and the barbed wire ring on it, which, well, oddly enough, doesn't need to wrap around the whole hand. We've got the two main hands out of the way. We've got a set of fist hands, of course, same tattoo decals as the rest of the hands, which is always a great thing to mention because, AEW figures, you can tend to get hands that don't even match up with the figure. And I say it like that because of the Supreme Rey Fenix. But yeah, all of these hands are looking phenomenal. I cannot complain about much. The only thing I can complain about is that little bit of dirt underneath my fingernail, as mind you, I washed my hands before I did this review. Anyway, we've also got the rest of these accessories. One of my favorite little small pieces here, we've got the dog tags on the chain. Of course, wraps around the neck as so, just plops right on there. Perfect piece for a Jon Moxley. Speaking of another perfect piece, especially right now, instead of the AEW World Championship, we should have gotten a briefcase to put the AEW World Championship into because of the recent storyline. Whether you love it or hate it, I don't know. AEW World Championship, though, is looking fairly nice. And, well, yeah, I can't really complain about that too much. The next small accessory, of course, we've got an AEW microphone, which, I mean, what kind of AEW figure review would it be without an AEW microphone? Of course, up next, we can take a look at all these nice cloth accessories that'll probably stain the shit out of the figure if you are not careful. So, we've got this nice Blackpool Combat Club t-shirt here, nice sleeveless, got the Velcro on it, say you want to use it for Claudio or whoever else you may be invested in using that for. You've got the Forged in Combat hoodie with the Blackpool Combat Club logo there. You've got the nice strings that are on the hoodie as well, which is a nice little detail that I can't really recall if they constantly always did or not. Of course, the one thing I am curious about, because, you know, it is a hoodie, but where's the hood at? It is in the jacket, so sorry for the little bit of awfulness there. Had to do it with two hands. It was not coming out on its own, but you've got the nice little hoodie accessory here. Never can complain about a nice cloth hoodie, you know, except for when it stains the figure. And speaking of another accessory, we've got this pleather jacket here with some really nice stitching details in it. You've got a little stitching on the side here for the pocket. If you can see it, you can see it. If you can't, I'm sorry. But all around, just a nice looking leather jacket, no logos on it, which, I mean, is nice if you want to use it for other characters. Of course, now that we've got all the cloth accessories out of the way, we can take a look at all three of the head scans, as we've got the stoic look, the pissed off look, and the yelling head scan. They all look really great, especially alongside each other. Got the nice fade on all three of them, I want to say. Yes, we do. They all are looking nice and sharp with the fade on the Moxley head scans. I can't say I'm complaining about any one of these head scans at all. They all look really incredible in my opinion. I love the way the hair tone is. I love the way the beard sculpt looks. It all looks really, really well. Speaking of stuff that looks really, really well, is the other pants that comes with the Jon Moxley. We've got the nice boots that of course have toe articulation because they are the Supreme style figures. We've got the nice boots, the nice gray wash like jeans, mind you, pinless legs that move fairly well here. Can't complain too much so far, at least. And I say it like that because, you know, at least the leg isn't falling off broken, though it is a little stiff. Though I will say the pinless joints on the AEW figures are not nearly half as bad as they are on the WWE side of things. But you've got the upper thigh cut with the little bit of leg swivel up in here. I do love that you've got the two different Mox logos there on the pants. Of course, you've got the belt sculpt and the thing that makes it look like at least a pair of jeans with the pockets and stuff on the back. Really nice set of legs, or well, an alternative attire for the Supreme Jon Moxley. And of course, to get into the rest of the figure, kind of got to dress him up a little bit with some hands and a head scan. Alrighty, you guys, now that we've got the Jon Moxley all dressed up with hands and head, we can get into this action figure review a little bit more. But of course, first things first, I want to point out this little white card here that was inserted in one of the jackets or the shirts. It's got a little bit of staining on it, so still be aware, staining is still a problem. But as you can see, when it comes to this action figure, there's very little to no staining on it at all, at least not that I'm aware of, because there's like, yeah, maybe like a couple little small dots like that one right there, and then the one that's on the abs here. But everywhere else I look, this figure is spot clean, and it makes me happy to know that they found some sort of route that'll make it so this Jon Moxley and hopefully many other figures down the line will not get stained all to hell, because one of my last AEW figure reviews, which happened to have a Jon Moxley in there, the Jon Moxley was stained the shit, and I was mad at it. Like, I was excited to have the new hands and all that kind of stuff, and now I can be expressively excited, because not just do I get all the updated tattoos with this Mox, of course, I kind of have a little bit of a different look options that I can go for now when it comes to the pants here, because not just do we have the gray pants that we saw earlier, but we've got these pants here too which have the barbed wire wrapped around the leg. Of course, you've got the Blackpool Combat Club logo up in there. You've got the Moxley logo going down the leg. And it's a fairly simple but yet effective gear. These look more like joggers compared to the other ones, which have a belt sculpt on them. So nice to know that they are two unique sets of legs in a sense. Maybe the pant sculpt itself, like the legs aren't, but the crotch piece is. So that's always a nice little thing to point out here. Of course, when it comes to this Moxley, I am also happy to see that they gave him the new updated torso with the butterfly joints built in, which are pretty nice for the most part here. They're a little stiff to move around, but I'm sure once you give them some time, they'll break in quite nice. Of course, with that new torso, you get the nice little bit of chest hair there. Nice sculpt all the way around. You've got the nice double jointed pinless arms with the little tattoo decal there. Of course, he's got the tattoos on the hands. He's got the size on the inner side of his arms there. There we go. We can point him out on both sets of arms. He's got his nice little rose tattoo there. He's got his your name written here, and a rose tattoo, and a rose tattoo. Anyway, my bad for my little spurt there. But all around, I am pretty damn happy with this Jon Moxley, especially with the way it poses, because, you know, legs straight up, it's got a nice little ab crunch there. You can bend it back quite far. All the standard articulation a good AEW figure has, and, you know, all around, this is probably one of the top AEW Supremes we've gotten so far. Speaking of that, I would like to maybe compare some of the other Supreme figures to this one, so why don't we get into that, shall we? Alrighty, you guys. I want to say that this is all of the Supreme figures that I have, at least in my collection. I know there's some more out there, like the Britt Baker. You've got the original Malachi Black, as that is the From the Vault series Malachi Black. And you've got, I want to say, the original Supreme Kenny, along with the original Supreme Cody. Like, there's so many of them that are out there, along with the fact that they've just technically never released anything past, like, Series 3 or Series 4 or whatever. One came out which time, I don't know. But ever since then, they've all just been, like, Walmart exclusives. One thing MDT did mention in his review, you know, please finish this one before you go check his out. But one thing he did mention in his review is I would love to see, you know, a ringside exclusive one come out at some point, as I feel like that would be like a pretty cool way you could do it. Maybe you could do like 2-pack Supremes, a way to get more tag teams in the wave, because, you know, set of Supreme Young Bucks would never hurt. Anyways, that's for another video idea for another day, as, you know, this definitely would have been in my top 10 as far as this Jon Moxley goes for Supremes I would have loved to see last year or so. But never late than never, you know. Better late than never, I meant to say. But either way, with it all being said, we've got a little bit more for you, so let's get into that. Here's one little thing I wanted to do for you guys here, and this is showing you the, like, height difference amongst the new Moxley versus the unrivaled rare, or one of the special editions from that unrivaled series. And you can definitely tell there's a little bit of a difference here. Of course, maybe not like super different, but this new Moxley is definitely a little bit smaller and potentially a little bit more on the accurate scaling. And I say that because I would love to see him alongside his brethren in the pick fed. We've got Seth Rollins here, and well, we've also got Roman Reigns. We had just got to get Seth Rollins all stood up here, all special like, I guess. And, well, I say he scales pretty well with his Shield brethren here, which makes me really excited to have this Mox in hand because, well, from here on out, I can use the Supreme Moxley here. And I guess with all that being said, why don't we get this Moxley into his final pose now, shall we? Alrighty, you guys. Now that we've got him all up in his final pose, we can say safely that this could be a scene that'll happen at Armageddon. Well, I'm not going to say it'll guarantee happen, but this could happen come Armageddon if Jon Moxley wins his qualifier for the Armageddon Gauntlet, aka I'm talking about pick fed stuff, as he is standing here alongside his brethren in the Shield. We've got them all decked out in gold and silver, as of course, the Shield is your current and inaugural Damn Defiant Wrestling Tag Team Champions, and well, I am pretty excited to see where this story could potentially lead up if Mox were to win the Gauntlet match and take away Cody's belt. So far, as of episode 13, we've got CM Punk, Shinsuke Nakamura, and Cody Rhodes. Of course, we've got 3 more qualifier matches. If you haven't seen on Instagram already, if you don't follow me on there, maybe you should. But we had a Fatal 4-Way on episode 14, and of course 15 and 16 will feature one as well. And while that one is a little bit of a Haas battle, as we have Drew McIntyre, Bronson Reed, Killer Cross, and Braun Breaker all in the same ring going head to head to head to head, all for a shot to be in that gauntlet match. And Moxley could find himself in that same predicament, as he will be facing Randy Orton, Bryan Danielson, and Rob Van Dam in his own Fatal 4-Way qualifier, and that'll be episode 15. So keep your eyes out for any PickFed related content if you're interested, or maybe go check out prior PickFed content if you would like to. Either way, enough said. When it comes down to this Jon Moxley, honestly, I am really shocked at how well this action figure poses. And to be honest with you, I am even more shocked with how accurate it is, like the height and everything is. Just because, man, honestly, I can almost barely speak with how good this figure is right now. And well, sadly, that still does not guarantee that I will break the 10 scale or the 5-star rating for the Dave Meltzer scale, but honestly, this Jon Moxley is definitely a top tier figure, let alone a top tier Supreme figure to have in the collection. My favorite one will still be the Supreme Punk so far, but this is a good number 2 in the Supreme collection. Either way, enough said. Why don't we get into the rating? And that is going to be on the scale of 1 to 10. I am going to have to give this figure a good solid 9.5. Honestly, this is a top tier figure, probably one of my more favorite AEW figures. Of course, when you scale it into stuff like WWE, I will say I may have found one of my top 10 figures of all time with this Rock Ultimate Edition here. If you haven't checked that out, I did review that this morning. We also have the Ultimate Edition Cody Rhodes that's on the ground, and a lot of other figures I have in my collection. It's kind of honestly hard to put a top 10 ranking on every single figure I own and what I would say is my top 10, because going back to some of my more retro or more older Elite figures, some of them I even have in the crowd, like my Elite Aleister Black and stuff of that nature. But, you know, enough said on that. On the scale of 1 to 5 stars, the good old 1 to Young Buck match, the Dave Meltzer star rating, I gave him a good solid 9.5. On the 1 to 10, I am going to have to give this man a good solid 4.5 stars. Out of 5 stars, he is a pretty damn good AEW figure. Probably one of the better ones they put out in recent years, in my opinion. And honestly, with all that being said, one of the easier Supremes to track down, I'd say, because, once it hit retail, it was quite easy to get. I just had to order them online. And I had them within hours because I chose to do delivery. And with that, you can choose what time you want. Of course, you could have it shipped too, which will save you a little bit of money, but to have this as early as I possibly could get it, I'm not complaining. And well, I think with all that being said, we are going to sign out of here. So, well, if you liked the video, feel free to like the video. If you did not like the video, womp womp, I guess. But if you did like the video, feel free to go check out some of my other action figure content. We've done unboxings, we've done plenty of other stuff, like a little deep dive into some of the customs I've done recently and stuff of that nature. Of course, if you guys would like to, and you guys want to help me out, we are still currently sitting at 342 subscribers, so maybe feel free to pop on that and subscribe. After all, it is free to subscribe. I've got a plethora of content here for you, starting off with the most recent figure review, which it could have a little bit more views on it, but it is still fairly early in the morning for me. And of course, we've got all the other action figure reviews that I've done. We've got the pick fed content. We've got plenty here for you to go through and watch if you're interested, so feel free to do all that. But if not, well, thanks for watching, and I hope you have a good rest of your day, night, evening, whatever the case may be. I don't know, because I am not in your time zone. But on that note, would I at least enjoy my time? Well, deuces, ooses, hey, hey.